Howdy folks, we are here with another low elo game. This is between Gabrielle in the red, who's playing as Cumans, and Billy the Kid in the blue, who's playing as Indians. At the time of this game, Billy the Kid did not have a rating, they were still doing their placement games, whereas Gabrielle was around 550. So I actually already did this cast of this game from Billy the Kid's perspective, but I felt like Gabriel would be a little bit more interesting, so we're going to watch Gabriel for this video. Okay, so starting off, not not the quickest reaction time. We've got scouts moving. We do have houses being built and villagers queued. Okay, this is a good start. You definitely want to get all that happening a little bit quicker, just because getting your first villagers out, maybe not queuing loom in the middle here. We'll get to that. Is kind of useful. This villager has been clicked to the sheep, and so is like shepherding them. And now they're building a mill. This is already kind of a weird build order. And we're on loom. You don't want to go with loom this early because you generally don't need it at this point in the game. Unless you're prone to forget it. Your villagers aren't going to be attacked by anything this quickly. There's not supposed to be any wolves around unless you take a boar. The enemy scout, even if they knew exactly where we were on beeline to you, they wouldn't be getting here in time. So you want to just go with villagers and start off with villagers immediately. Because that time that it takes, it puts you a little bit behind. We see on berries and one on sheep, so this is not super ideal. And the reason for that being that sheep is decaying, and so you want to have more villagers on the sheep because this is a good gather point. This is a good drop-off point because the villager you see drops off very quickly. But you're going to lose food because this is decaying. So you want to be collecting from it as little as, or as short a period of time as possible, and that means more villagers. This is just very interesting. This is very early for stone. Unless you're planning, well, honestly, unless you're playing like a tower rush or something, this seems very early. Decent mining camp, though. And the straggler trees. This is the problem building the mill that early. Now, normally what you want to do is have the sheep under your town center because that can also act as a food drop-off point and be collecting only from the sheep. Then use your wood resources to build a lumber camp here on a wood line, here on a wood line, because then you get decent income. Now, as it is, these villagers are having to move back and forth really long distances. All the straggler trees are getting chopped here. Really long distances in order to drop off wood, and now there's not enough wood for a lumber camp. But here we go, and more villager production. You had the jump on your opponent because you produced villagers quicker, but now they're catching up, and they're actually starting to surpass you. It's pretty decent scouting, though. At this point, see, that's... Now you're housed. What are you going to do? How long is it going to take you to notice that you're housed? Oh, not too long. Oh, okay. We're getting a nice little house row. I don't want to call it a wall yet. This is the sort of thing, when you're housed this early in the game, that becomes an emergency. Honestly, I would just grab these 3 villagers, drop a house right here, then build these other ones to keep sustained production, but you want to get that unblocked as quickly as possible. Again, creating more villagers. Almost the point where you want to build a lumber camp. This would be a good spot for it. You don't want to be taking these straggler trees for too long because of the inefficiencies. Like, this is really bad, especially in the Dark Age. Really early to go on a farm. And at this point, let's see, if you found... So you have a boar here. Where's your other boar? Your other boar's probably in this area. You have 600 food worth of food on the boars. And you'll collect much more quickly from the boar. And from the sheep? Maybe not the sheep. Oh, there's more sheep. You'll collect much more quickly from the boar than you will from a farm, so you always want to exhaust those food resources before you go to farms. We've got little house walls going back here. This, if you're going to build houses, you might as well use them as the wall, like kind of build them here because they are better than the palisade, especially in the early ages, and so you can use that as part of your wall rather than going all the way over here and building them. But good that you are building more. I'm curious as to what these villagers are going to do once they run out of these trees. Also, this is not auto scout, but it definitely does seem, or maybe this is auto scout actually, because it went to this corner and then it went to this corner. Maybe this is auto scout. Not the worst. I'm not going to hate on it at this point because you found most of your resources. That is possibly the worst lumber camp I've ever seen. Unless there are trees here, and I'm pretty sure there aren't. You want your lumber camp to be in the center of the wood line, and the reason for that being, you want to minimize the distance your villagers have to travel. And you put it right here, there's literally one tree touching it, which means there's going to be travel time no matter where your villagers go after this first tree. So you can see this lady already is going to have this journey to go. This lady's going to have this journey. This is not good. This is not a good lumber camp. This would have been a better spot. Here, those would have been better spots. You want to minimize that travel distance. The only time you don't want to do that is for mines, so you don't want to like Tetris a gold mine in here. You want to put it a little out because gold takes so long to get through that it actually increases the inefficiency if you put it right up against there because it takes them so long to be able to saturate that area. But I see people do this a lot. Alright, again, more villagers. You have the food, and I get that you're saving for feudal, but you need more villagers. Because on your way up to feudal, you need to have the resources being collected so you can actually do something when you get to feudal. And, okay, now you're up to feudal. By the time you get there, I guarantee you're going to have, like, maybe 100 food, and that's it. And that's not enough. You want to have more villagers collecting food so you have more of a supply when you get to the next stage. So now you got to start thinking, what's your strategy? Cumans. Cumans have the ability to produce battering rams in the feudal age. They have the ability to build a second town center. At least I'm pretty sure they get the battering rams. Yep. I think, yep. Battering ram available in feudal age, additional town center. So they have a lot of options. They also, I believe, recently just got a discount on their military buildings. I was literally just on the screen. Yep. Cheaper stables and archery ranges. So if you want to go for scouts, you could toss a barracks down now and still probably have the wood to, even though you don't have a lot of wood, again, because you don't have any villagers. Or you could toss an archery range, same thing. You don't have enough on food to really go for any of those things, though, and that's kind of the problem. You don't really have a good viable strategy to you. You do have 2 on stone for reasons that maybe you're tower rushing. I don't know. You want to find your enemy to tower rush, though. But really, the only viable option that you have right now is building the second town center and going really heavy on booming in the feudal age. And building more villagers. This is good. You also, like, you don't have enough food to go scouts or boom, and you don't have enough on wood to go archers. So yeah, it kind of puts you in a weird position. And I think your strategy appears to just do nothing. Probably not the best strategy. Oh, where are we going? Where are you going? Oh, we got a wall. So this is not a great place to wall. And the reason for that is, let's say I come in here. Oh my god. Okay, we're going to slow down because a lot's happening. Let's say I come in here with scouts, right? Your villager, you don't have a wood line here. Once this villager's done building, they're going to go off somewhere else. The closest villager you have here is here, to stone. And by the time they walk all the way over here to either repair or drop a house behind, scouts will get through that wall. 4 scouts get through that wall pretty easily. So this is not a great place for this. A better place would be here, because it's a shorter distance to wall, and also your villager can get there faster. Of course, if you do wall here, you have to kind of wall here too, and that's kind of not so great. But yeah, this, honestly, you have the wood. I would have just house walled this whole thing. You have the wood for it. Maybe house wall here. If you're worried about claiming territory, don't be. If you can't defend this territory, it doesn't matter what wall you have here. It doesn't matter if you have this extra territory. So let's look at the rest of this. This is amazing to me because this, I'm pretty sure, is where the gate is going to go. This player is so concerned about conserving wood that they don't want to build these 2 extra tiles, which would cost 10 wood, and then waste them later building the gate. You've got the resources. Just don't worry about too much. What? Okay. We've had the houses destroyed here. They just didn't fit the aesthetic, and we're putting them back here on the back wall. Oh, this wall. Okay, I do get it's Arabia. Arabia at this point is absolutely atrocious to wall. This wall could have gone to here and then here, and then just saved that much space. This is a lot of wall. And you also want to incorporate your other buildings into that. Like, these palisade walls have so little health, so little armor. You drop your archery range here, you drop your barracks here, your stable, your blacksmith, you put those as part of the wall, you have a stronger wall. Because they have more health and they take up extra tiles, that just makes your wall stronger. Because right now, any of this can be taken down very quickly. Also, we have 14 villagers. You need more villagers. You need more villagers at this point, actually, on farms, because you haven't taken your boar. In fact, where is the other boar? I still don't even see it. You haven't taken your boar. These villagers are about to run out of stuff to do. And you have the wood. So you need to get that villager production up. You need to just get... Basically, at this point, I'll just say you need more of everything except stone. You do not need more stone. You have enough stone for a castle now. Just... You don't need more stone. Please get off stone. You aren't even doing anything with it. Also, you kind of know where the enemy... This is your enemy's sheep, and this is one of their golds, which means they're probably somewhere in here. Also, if you were being scout raided, or scout rushed, or even archers, this wall is taking so long to build, which is why you kind of want to start it in the Dark Age with those houses. If you'd taken these houses, look at how much space that covers. That could be this whole area, and some of this. If you'd actually built military buildings, like you would in a good build order, you'd have this covered, and your wall would now be done. Well, except for this hole here. As it is right now, if you were being rushed by scouts, there'd be 4 scouts, 5 scouts in your base. Now, these 2 villagers would be dead, and your enemy would be saying, oh, there's a hole in the wall. I'll just keep making more scouts. So, this... You want to start walling early. Very early. Alright, now you have 8 idle villagers out of 14, which means 6 of your villagers are working, which kind of makes me wonder what you're looking at. Because this, as we've decided, is auto scout, so you're not following your scout at all. And especially because they just almost ran the town center. So what are you doing right now? This would be the time to start. You really need to be focusing on your economy. These all can go to farms. You need more villagers. And you need less stone. So at this point, I think I'm going to speed up a little bit because... Okay, there we go. And now the farms come in. Okay. Still no villagers. Be good to get some villagers. But it almost seems like you went to the bathroom or something. And there's the gate. Okay, enemy scout is trapped in here now. And now we get a tower. Okay. You still don't need stone. You had enough stone to build a tower, and you still could build a castle and a town center after building that tower. Also, is this tower just to kill this scout? And the second tower... Okay. I don't... It is not a good thing if you spent the entire Dark Age and all that time, 24 minutes, with these villagers mining stone, and you're going to use it to build a ton of towers. Because towers, once you get to Castle Age, once you get to Imperial Age, are almost completely useless. You haven't been attacked. They're only really good against archers, and what you want to do with them is you want to use them as a reactionary building. You see archers coming this way, react, drop a tower here, react, drop a tower here. You don't... I mean, and I know... I'm guessing what has happened is this player has played scenarios where they've had to storm an enemy base, and the base has had a bunch of towers, and they've thought, well, I had a really hard time storming this base. With all these towers in this neat little row, I'm going to build some towers and 1 spearman so that they have a hard time storming it. Well, that's not really going to work because we see what's coming out of your enemy. They're going for infantry. They just dropped 30 longswords on this, and then that tower's gone. Towers are not that strong. Also, you can see your enemy is doing a little bit better than you. You can see military buildings. You need to start producing military of your own, because as it is right now, your walls aren't going to stop anything. And there's too much area to wall. You need to know what they're making, and oh, this is interesting. Maybe they weren't auto scouting. Maybe that's why they were AFKs. They clicked waypoints on every single place here. And these sheep are amazing. Okay, no more towers. You need to focus on getting up to castle, because no more towers. Just stop building towers. You need to focus on getting up to castle because you know you haven't been booming. This 21 villagers at 27 minutes does not count as a boom. You know your opponent's in castle age. You have no time. You need to have farms. You need to be getting up. You need to be building more villagers. If you build a lot more villagers, just toss them all on farms, get a couple more on wood, like maybe 10 on wood, get 18 farms, get up to castle age, and get some units. You have a barracks. That is a barracks, 1 spearman, and 4 towers is not going to stop anything in castle age. They're just going to come in with rams. They're just going to come in with knights. They're going to come in with crossbows, which do not outrange a tower. They'll come in with mangonels, which take out towers very easily. You're in trouble here. And so you need to have the villager count. You need to also take this scout, run it around here, see what they're doing, see what they're building, because if you know what they're coming at you with, you'll be able to build the counters to it. Are they coming at you with a lot of cavalry? Well, build more spearmen. Are they coming at you with a lot of archers or cavalry archers? Build some skirmishers. They are feudal age units, which means they're not going to be as good, but they're better than nothing. You have nothing right now. Alright, now you've run into the problem of no wood. So you want to be creating more villagers. You see how long these villagers have to walk? Imagine if your lumber camp had been here, they would have carved out these trees and it would have been half this distance. At this point, you need to save up some wood, refresh this lumber camp, drop another lumber camp somewhere else because this one's getting saturated, we call it, which is where there's too many villagers on it. And it's only saturated because it's so thin, this area that you're chopping. Okay, we've got blacksmith and market, so you seem like you're ready to go up to castle. I don't know where they're... Okay, you're on gold now. That's a lot on gold. And you're researching... Why are you researching man-at-arms? Now, to be fair, when I play Goths, I do this too, but that's because I'm planning on building a ton of man-at-arms. Are you going to build man-at-arms? You should not be building man-at-arms. Because you don't know what your enemy's doing, and infantry generally are pretty shitty. Also, you're building another tower. This is actually... I like this tower, actually. I would like it better if it was inside the walls, but this protects the gold. This is a fine tower. These towers... Why are they not inside the walls, at the very least? It doesn't make sense. Okay, we got gold mining upgrades. Still 4... You don't need more stone. Just get off the stone. Hey, look at that. New lumber camp. See how much more efficient your villagers are? Look at how much wood you have at this point. You're getting the farms, building villagers. So I like this. This is good. A lot of it is happening too late because you can see your opponent is making 10 camels. 10 camels will get into a hole here and will kill everything. And this... You gotta stop making towers. You gotta stop making towers. You've got too many towers. These are not going to help you at this point. Your opponent's in Castle Age. Feudal Age towers. Even a lot of Feudal Age towers are not going to do anything. Okay, now we have a man-at-arms and a spearman. With no upgrades. We are getting Horse Collar and... Oh, look at this. We've got an old style player. So this farm queue, this is the old Age of Conquerors way of queuing up extra farms when the farm expires. You see this villager is finished. They're going to come here and they're going to replant. Oh, you know what? They've got the other queue turned on as well. They probably clicked this accidentally. So they've got auto queue turned on, which means the villager's not even using this queue, but they've got 3 farms queued. This is 180 wood right here. You should probably unqueue these. I'm guessing that was an accident. So maybe they're not an old style player. Again, this wood line saturated. You can see this villager's having trouble finding a good place to chop. There's a lot of bumping, which is just inefficient. Take these villagers. Another lumber camp over here. It helps you also if... Oh, I think I saw... Was that blacksmith upgrade? Yeah, it was not. It also helps, like, let's say they get cavalry or archers in here, and you lose all these villagers, well, you've still got wood income because you got them down here. Still no military, and this does not count as military. Okay, we've got... I mean, it's taking map control. I'm not going to hate on this. It's weird. I don't know why you put your stable and your archer range here and not, like, in here or something, but here they are. They're here. You know, it's... Yeah, it is what it is. This stone is about to run out. Why? You have 1,000 stone. You've built 4, 5, 6 towers and you still have 1,000 stone in feudal age. No. If anything, sell it. Sell it in the market. Buy food. Go up to castle. You should have been up in castle 10 minutes ago. You're lucky at this point your opponent hasn't attacked. And you can see here, look at how much military they have. If they attack you, you'll get wiped. And there we go. And there you go. It looks like they bought some food. That's the way to do it. That's why the market's there. And now you're getting archers. Okay. Archers and building a lot of stables. So are you going to focus on cavalry? It's not the worst idea. Your opponent is getting spears, but yeah, I'm just kind of curious now. Like, the fact that you haven't been housed at this point is also kind of tremendous to me, because this is not enough houses, but also you aren't really building anything, and that's why. Oh. Okay, so if you were paying attention to that, and I was going fast, you should have a good idea of what they have. And it looked like a mixed bag. Some infantry, some archers, some camels, etc. So what you don't need is step lancers. I mean, don't get me wrong, step lancers are cool, but you want knights. The step lancers, their big thing is they can attack from range. Against what you saw, they have camels and they have archers. That it's not going to help you very much. Now, if you could get them around a big ball of archers and have a big ball of step lancers, yeah, they'll shred them because they'll stab into them. But yeah, it's not. It doesn't make the backbone of an army. Crossbows, on the other hand, with upgrades, actually, good job. Might. So you get about 40 or 50 of these. You've got a pretty good thing going there. Lots on gold. Okay. Oh, you only went off stone because you ran out of stone. You are in Castle Age. This would be a good time. Drop a castle here. You know what that does? That protects this gold. It's on a hill. It's good positioning. Another good place would be here, actually, because this is where all your military is. Drop 2 castles. You're almost got enough to do it. Knights are coming out. Okay, you need more upgrades now as well, and you need more villagers. At this point, you really need a second town center, because the amount of villagers that you need to be producing is much greater than the amount of villagers that you are currently producing, which is 0. And your opponent's going to Imperial Age. Ooh, that's not a good sign. And you don't know this because you lost your scout. All you know is, oh, there was some military here that killed me. You don't even know where they came from. You don't know if they've got this castle. You don't know if they've got this all walled. You don't know where their production is. You need information. Make another scout. You've got the food for it. You're not using it to train anything else. Oh, there you go. Made a light cavalry. And this, at this point, look at this AI army. This is something. We've got knights, we've got step lancers, we've got crossbows, we've got cavalry archers, we've got non-elite skirmishers. It's something. It's special. This is a cute little base, honestly. And you got a lot on gold, but no, you're using your gold, and I like that. You're using all your resources. The thing that I worry is that maybe you're not using your resource and just you don't have enough villagers on anything. Definitely want to get another wood line. This is again suffering the same issue of distance that you had before, where they're having to walk a really long way. Problem is you don't have a lot of wood, and you don't have a lot of wood because at this point in the game you should have 20 or 30 villagers on wood. That's what you want, and you want to be spending a lot of that because you want to have 30 or 40 on farms. You just need more at this point. And you're actually catching up there, 37 to 60. The problem is 16 crossbows. Is that good against what they're making? What are they making? You don't know because you're fighting their stone miners. I guess the rationale here is, hey, I've got stone and I'm doing good and I don't want them to have stone. Also, you know, not too bad. You picked off 2. I like it. But you saw a big army there. Where is that army? That army could be right here. You don't know. That army could be here. That army could be up here, about to go through your palisade wall. Oh, here they are. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's slow this down a little bit. Actually, let's just pause this because that guy's about to die. So what do they have here? Crossbows. Elephant archers. Long swords. Okay, so what you're looking at, you've got archers, you've got cavalry, and you've got some long swords, but not a lot of long swords. So what you really want to be worried about is countering the archers and the cavalry. You want skirmishers, probably, and you want, I would say, honestly, given what I see here, skirm knight is not a terrible idea. Because the skirmishers will deal with these elephant archers. They're slow. They're elephants. They're ponderous. The knights and skirmishers will deal with this. The knights will deal with the long swordsmen. And knights can deal with cavalry. So, you know, in Cumans, I don't think they get too bad at cavalry. But now you know what they have. You know they're... Oh, that's... Okay, maybe you don't want to go for knights then. Seeing how many camels they have. Camels. Now, the thing about that is camels do get bonus damage against knights, but they are weaker than knights. So if you are building knights and your opponent's building camels, you are going to win the fight. You're going to do pretty good against them. It's only if they have a mass of camels against your knights that you really have to worry. But in that case, you're already going crossbow. Crossbow pike. You know, crossbows will do really well against camels. I think they have bonus damage against them. The pikes will do well against camels, will do well against the elephant archers. Your archers can probably beat their archers, especially if you have... Oh no. Okay, well, let's watch this fight go down. Yeah, so you can see how little effect these towers are having. I don't think this ends well for you. And it's not a matter of counters at this point, it's just that you have half the military they have. And if they're throwing their military into this, of course they're going to beat you because they just have more. Yeah, this is all getting cleared up. Yeah. And they still have... Yeah, so they just brought more military than you, and these knights don't have any upgrades, so they're going to get cleaned up by these camels. You can see that, like, they don't do too terribly against camels on their own. Okay, so you're coming back a little bit. I think you will clear this, but you need to build military. You need to build a lot of military now, because you can see, as you can see, those towers did very little. That's what they're going to bring, and very likely they're producing more. You can see here already, and you should assume that, which means that you need to be producing more. So let's just speed this up a little bit. We got more gold coming out. Still, you got 5 on wood. This is not enough on wood at this point. You need to be producing a ton more villagers. You lost a bunch of villagers in that fight. Get another wood line up. I think that... Oh, and here's the second enemy army. Look at that. That's another 44 units, and you don't have enough. It doesn't matter what you're making at this point. If what you have counters them or no, you just don't have enough units. And you see how fast these towers go down. They're just not... They just don't do anything, really. Ring the bell. Not a great idea, because all these villagers ran out here into the tower. Ringing the bell is almost never a good idea, because this area is not under attack, but now all these villagers are going to garrison. These villagers, in fact, are running past the town center, which I don't know why, to go to the tower, and now this is being held open by a sheep. That's a disaster. Thanks, sheep. All right, see the towers went down. Yeah, this is GG. You're trickling in units at this point, and you don't. Yeah, you just don't have enough to stop this. If you had 3 times this number of production buildings and the economy to sustain them, I would say that you could deal with this, but you can't. And now all the upgrades are coming in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is over. And there we go. All right, so you notice they never actually did breach that wall, which is kind of funny. So, points of interest. The towers, you notice how those just went down. They went down. You see the amount of damage that is put out by these units at this point. Even though these have 1,000 HP, they just don't do anything, barely. There weren't enough of them. They're a hindrance in feudal age. In castle age, they're almost useless. You should have had a castle up. You had the stone for it. More units, more villagers. Even with the inefficient economy being what it is and the weird wall, those weren't the things that lost you the game. The things that lost you the game really is you never got more than I think 30 villagers, and in Castle Age that's just not enough. Your opponent had 47. That's also not enough, but they had more. You didn't build enough military. Yeah, they were building all kinds of military. How do I counter that? Well, you don't really need to. If they're building a ton of different types of units and you just build one type of unit and then that's a gold unit and then one type of unit that's a trash unit, which is a non-gold unit to counter anything. So like archers and pikes, for instance. You build enough archers and enough pikes, it doesn't really matter what they're building because you will have a more concrete army and theirs is more scattered. Um, but yeah, I think the biggest issue here was not even taking the stone. The biggest issue here was not enough villagers, not enough military. And I think if you improve both of those things, even if you just had more villagers, you would have more economy to build more military, and I think that would have helped you a lot here. Anyway, that's all for now. As always, hope this was enjoyable, and I'll see you all next time.